number Senate Joint Resolution 6-2.
On page 1, calendar 550, Senate Joint Resolution number 62. Resolution confirming the nomination of the Honorable Jed N. Schulman of Farmington to be a family support magistrate.
Senator Doyle, distinguished chair of the Judiciary Committee.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Good afternoon, Senator.
I move acceptance of the Joint Committee's favorable report and adoption of the resolution.
A matter has been moved for adoption. Will you remark further?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Magistrate Schulman was first appointed as a family support magistrate in April of 2008. He's before us this evening for the first 5-year term in the process. In the past, magistrates did not come before formal votes in the chamber. Because of hard work of a few years ago, we now require him to come before us. So Attorney Schulman, or Magistrate Schulman, as I said, was appointed in 2008. He's a graduate of University of Connecticut, got his Bachelor of Arts. He got his law degree from Hofstra University. He is a resident of Farmington, Connecticut. Without a doubt, he's a very articulate and smart judge. He's a very hard worker. He has drafted the handbooks for all the family support magistrates. So he really puts in a lot of time to provide these handbooks for the new magistrates so they know how to perform on their job. During the public hearing process in the Judiciary Committee, some issues did arise regarding the temperament of Mr. Schulman on the bench. Because of these issues raised, the leadership of the Judiciary Committee, the bipartisan leadership, including Mr. Chairman Kissel, we met with Judge Schulman, representatives from the Judicial Department. We all expressed our concerns about his some issues of temperament. It was presented to us some personal issues involved, which might justify it, but still, I personally don't think there's any justification. But we had a good discussion. It was the first time in my career where we directly addressed some concerns of temperament. I'll be honest, I received other representations from lawyers and others saying how he's done a great job and they did not see the temperament issues. Regardless, I met with him. We met with him, expressed our concerns. The Judicial Department agreed they're going to work with Magistrate Schulman to assure us that there will be no further temperament problems in the future. That being said, I'm comfortable supporting Attorney Schulman for another term to be a family support magistrate, and I urge the Chamber to approve Magistrate Schulman. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Doyle. Additional comment, the other distinguished co-chair of the Judiciary Committee, Senator Kissel.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. It is great seeing you up there this afternoon. I also stand in strong support of Magistrate Schulman. As Senator Doyle pointed out, I don't believe the good magistrate put his best foot forward during the public hearing. We urge the judicial branch, and I believe that they very much do this, to try to inform people what it's like to come before the Judiciary Committee for either an appointment or reappointment. And most of the candidates take that very seriously, but some perhaps do not understand the rigorous nature of the hearing and the hearing process. And I can understand that in this instance because, as Senator Doyle pointed out, this is the first time that a family support magistrate has had to come before the Judiciary Committee to be questioned on his or her reappointment. What took place was unfortunate, but while there was an individual that testified against Magistrate Schulman based upon his deportment, it was clear that he also had some very good qualities. As Senator Doyle points out, that he's worked on handbooks for the family support court services, but he's also put together items through software where individual decisions on individual matters are all brought together, and he shares that with all his other colleagues. So he's very meticulous, very precise, and my gut feeling is he's tough on himself as on the other individuals around him. The other thing is that, while not an excuse, his wife is extremely ill, and yet he's been lovingly at her side as she is in a nursing home capacity at this time, and that can describe some of the stresses that he's feeling And while that's not an excuse for being curt with individuals, it certainly is an explanation as to some of the pressures that he's undergoing. So, in totality, we felt it was very important to stress how important it is that our citizenry respect the judicial branch. It's importance as far as meting out justice, and so we held his renomination, set up a meeting, and as Senator Doyle indicated, myself, Senator Doyle, Chairman Tong, and Ranking Member Rabimbis, as well as, I believe, Vice Chair Staffstrom, were in a meeting with the head of the support services and Judge Schulman, and we had a very frank discussion, and he took it very seriously. And so we don't do this often, but when we do it, we mean it. That being the case, in my view, to not support a renomination, you would have to do something extremely drastic. And I don't believe Judge Schulman for a second has done anything extremely drastic. One thing that did come out of the meeting, though, which in my 25 years as a senator and 23 on judiciary, I have never seen. There is a plan that was developed after that meeting to make sure that Magistrate Schulman reflects upon past conduct and increases his deportment and composure while working as a magistrate. This includes assigning a judge mentor to Magistrate Schulman, periodic unannounced visitations to his court by anonymous judicial branch personnel, periodic review of the audio recordings of what takes place in his court by a judge, counseling regarding stress management, materials regarding dealing with pro se litigants in your court, periodic interviews with all staff that are in his court, and quarterly in-person reviews and discussions by the Chief Family Support Magistrate, the Chief Court Administrator, and the Deputy Chief Court Administrator. This is unprecedented. This is like really being on probation. I believe it shows not only that Magistrate Schulman takes this very seriously, but the support services and the judicial branch takes this very seriously as well. And we will circle back in next legislative session. There will have been at least 2 quarterly reviews by that time, and we will see how things are going. I want to give Magistrate Schulman the benefit of the doubt. We are all mere mortals with foibles. Not every day is our best day, and pretty much anybody in the circle, somebody could point to that one bad day and try to expound upon that. But as a whole, most of us rise to the challenge, and on occasion, individuals trip up, and I do believe in redemption and giving people a second chance. So for that reason, I would urge my colleagues to support the renomination of Magistrate Schulman. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Kissel. Is there additional comment? Senator Winfield.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I listened to Senator Kissel. I appreciate his comments, but his comments are the reason why I'm going to oppose this judge. I appreciate the fact that the leadership of the committee had a meeting with Judge Schulman. Would have loved to have been in that meeting. Senator Kissel is telling us that what is before us is an unprecedented case. I am telling this body often when we have judges that one of the most difficult things that I have to do is figure out whether or not I should vote to put one of these individuals back on the bench. Over my years on the Judiciary Committee, I've been instructed that one of the things we have to look at in order to determine whether we put people back on the bench is their comportment. There was a day where we were to hear from the judge and think about voting on him, but the process for this judge was different than others for a reason. The comportment of this judge, and I understand there may be stressors in individuals' lives, but the comportment of this judge is just not what it should be. The demeanor that some say they've had to experience with this judge is not what it should be, and I think what the committee found was not what we believe should be in place, which is why we have this very abnormal process in place, as outlined by Senator Kissel. I'm disturbed by the fact that in order for him to have the ability to sit on our bench, we have to put in place all of these things that are outlined. And I've said over and over again, there's a commentary that often is part of what we do in general about the public paying attention to what we do. And the public, at least the experience I have when it comes to judges, is often questioning what it is we do with these judges because we find out some things that are disturbing and yet they're able to be back on the bench. If this is unprecedented, if in my 9 years here, if in previous speakers' 25 years here, we haven't seen this, if we have people who come and say there's a problem, we should not be putting that person in a position that we could potentially be putting them back in if we vote yes on this nominee. And so I would urge all of us to think deeply about what it is we're doing, about the public who sees us put people back on our benches, who sees us listen to them, and still put people back in a position. I recognize all of the good things they've done, but this isn't just about that. This is about what people believe about our justice system and us. And I believe that we should send a message that if you can't control yourself enough to get through the process where you're looking for your job, what is your demeanor when you're not looking for your job? That's an important thing to think about. So I rise in opposition to the nominee. I think it's important for us to think a little bit deeply about these things. Thank you.